Hello there and welcome back to the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. Today I have a car that I've been waiting to drive in Gran Turismo 2 ever since I knew it was a thing. This is the 1998 Volkswagen Polo 1.4 16 valve. It is here thanks to Gran Turismo 2 Plus, which there will be a link for in the description below if you want to play around with it. This is widely known as the most functional car that was dropped from the game. For whatever reason, the developers decided at the very last minute they did not want the Volkswagen Polo in the game, and as a result it was dropped unceremoniously. There's lots of different theories as to why. My personal thoughts are that they somehow saw the Volkswagen Lupo and decided the Lupo would be a better car than the Polo to have in the game, so they dropped the Polo because the Lupo and the Polo are somewhat quite similar, and as a result they went with the Lupo, probably due to the fact the Lupo became a pretty big deal in Japan. But either way, it doesn't matter because it's here and we finally get to drive the Polo. Its stats are not particularly impressive: 185 horsepower, 943 kilos of weight, so it's actually quite heavy for a super mini, but a decent amount of torque, and front engine front wheel drive should mean it does quite well around the Motorsports Land track, where it will get 6 laps to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Honda Civic SIR2, which set a time of a 30.779. The Volkswagen Polo, unlikely to beat that given the performance of it. In fact, if I'm being honest, I think out of the 3 cars we've now ran around here, I think the Polo is probably going to be going into last place. But still, it doesn't matter. We get to drive the Volkswagen Polo around this track. The reason why I've been so desperate to drive the Volkswagen Polo is because I do have a bit of an attachment to this particular generation of Polo. My first car that I ever sort of used outside of driving instructors and stuff was a 2001 Volkswagen Polo, so it was this 6N model, but the facelift. I never really cared for this pre-facelift model, but the post-facelift one was the one I had. I think that might be another reason behind this car's dropping as well, potentially, is the fact that the facelifted model had come out, so this car would have been out of date. Similar to, for example, the BMW E36s that were dropped from the game that weren't the compact. I think the game's creators, when it came to the European side of the game and trying to appeal to European market tastes, were desperate to get the latest and greatest cars. I think having this Polo, not the facelift Polo, which did come out in the summer of 1999, also affected its ability to be in the game because, again, like I say, they wanted the latest, greatest vehicles they could get their hands on. So there you go. I don't know if you'd say latest and greatest about a Volkswagen Lupo or a Polo or whatever, but still, that fact remains. But yeah, I have a bit of connection to this car. I drove mine. Admittedly, mine was 50 horsepower, 1 litre, and it was terrible because that car was very, very unreliable. But, you know, I still have a personal connection to it. Not as much as I did to the car I upgraded from my first, actual car that was mine, which was my 1.1 Fiat Panda, which was a terrific car. But still, yeah, my Polo was black, this Polo is black, and I just like the Polo. You know, this particular generation of Polo, this 3rd generation Polo, I think was the best looking of the bunch, hence why Volkswagen sort of went back to it for the Mark V. I just like it. I think it's very sort of sleek, good-looking car. From an era where Volkswagen weren't really making the best things, you know, the Mark IV Golf. Admittedly, though, the Mark IV Golf also had quite a nice sort of clean style to it almost, which is what this vehicle has. But yeah, still, I definitely prefer the Polo to the Mark IV Golf, mostly because the Mark IV Golf is not a particularly quick or good car by any stretch of the imagination. Sorry, Mark IV. Golf enthusiasts. See how the Polo can get along. I suppose the one good thing with the Polo is I can have a nice chat about this car while I'm driving it, because it doesn't really take much brain capacity to drive this thing. Oh, we gotta go quicker. No, we're not, by an absolute inch. So 32.277, I'll be honest, that's significantly quicker than I was expecting it to be. That's actually a really, really good time from a car that does not have a lot of power. I'll be interested to see how the Lupo deals with this. If this car can beat the Lupo around this track, and again, the Lupo does have racing modification, which is worth pointing out. If this car beats the Lupo around here, I think that will be a good gift to this car. I have also realised the front end in this game, the front lights look a little bit off, so it kind of looks like a Hyundai Matrix from the front. We'll ignore that apart. Anyways, despite the car doing quite well, it does unfortunately go into last place. Third place though, admittedly, which isn't too bad. It isn't as far behind the 300ZX as perhaps 300ZX enthusiasts would like. That first sector on that last lap was really quite good. Where did all the time go? Second sector. Could have gone quicker. Could have gone... I doubt you'd got it into the 31s, but, you know, a very, very early 32 probably was on the cards for this. But I'm still really happy with that time, and I'm happy to finally drive the Volkswagen Polo and share it with you guys. So thank you all very much for watching this edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. Do join us next time for a completely different vehicle, and until then, farewell.